Hello, everybody. My name is Don Caruso with the Rico Scanner Group, and welcome to our sixth episode. This time featuring something a little bit different than we're used to. Traditionally, if you looked at our five other episodes that we have on our website, you'll see videos and webinars based around trading cards. This time, we're very happy to switch and pivot from that into the world of gaming cards. And there's a ton of technology out there that represents this category, but one that I found very interesting was running into our new partner, which is MTech Cave and SortSwift. And I'm really happy to have on this first webcast Micah Walters, who's the owner of both companies. Welcome, Micah.
Well, thank you. Happy to be here.
The world of imaging trading cards is quite interesting. We in the scanner market have been around for years now, but really focused on scanning, gaming, and trading cards here in the last year and a half to 2 years, let's call it. And never did I think that we would run into a device like the Sort Swifter that is so unique and interesting to this. And I think it's something that the gaming card market really likes. We've built up a very good rapport with the gaming and trading cards here in the last couple of years and built a pretty nice database. So hopefully a lot of people are on this webinar and are able to download it later on. But what SortSwift has to offer, as well as MTech Cave, is quite unique. And we'll go through, and our plan here is to talk about scanning gaming cards, the big four, the Magic, the Yu-Gi-Oh, Lorcana, Pokemon. There's a ton of users out there. It's global. So that's what's cool about this is it's not just the United States. This is something that around the world is extremely popular. I'm still learning about it myself. My son has these cards as well. I'm able to learn more as we collect. But I certainly have learned a lot from Micah. He's an expert, in my opinion, in the gaming card market. And from a technology standpoint, is a wizard in terms of what you've been able to create here. So, Micah, how about you tell us a little bit about yourself? What's your background? What got you into the hobby and all that kind of fun stuff?
We all started about 5 years ago. We started a little like phone repair stores where is what we began with. And then the guys and friends wanted to come play cards. So I made a little room for them at the store and they came to play cards. It grew into an entire retail store and started selling singles and eventually started making things. So it was about four years ago. I started teaching myself fusion. I started teaching myself how to make things, design things, print things, laser cut things. And it just grew and grew and grew. And then we expanded into software just 5 months ago. So we've been working hard and hardware is definitely a thing that I'm more capable of now that I've, I guess, taught myself more and more. So that's when we made SortSwift, and SortSwift was a product of the super sorter that we have designed, and we basically needed a software to run it. So that's why SortSwift was born.
I'm really excited to show off later on. For those of you on the webcast, we're going to go through both a demonstration of the software as well as the hardware. And I was really amazed when I saw it at first. I was like, oh my gosh, how in the world did you think about this product? Not only come to a design factor, but there's a software and hardware aspect, of course, to this that is super unique. So where did the idea come about to build this device? Did the hardware come before the software, or?
The hardware came before the software. We had plans of integrating into just APIs online and recognizing, but I have some connections that got us a very nice API that is very private. We're the only one that has access to this recognition system, and they've been in development for 4 years. The recognition that we're using on our system is very unique. No one else has it, and we've been getting nothing but compliments since. So we built around that partnership that we have with the recognition provider and built SortSwift to also help build our sorting machine, which needed it because I didn't have a way of recognizing without developing something ourselves.
Yeah, one thing that you had mentioned to me off camera, of course, was that your world that you live in is very Mac friendly. And traditionally, although our scanners do work on Mac, the software out there is average at best.
So
And one of the things I think that will be nice to demonstrate and show as we get into the demonstration of the software of is how easy it is to use, regardless if it's on Mac or PC. That's one of the strong points. But it seems like so you guys have been around for roughly about a year in terms of product design and software and trying to build up a database for the product. In terms of how you came into the idea of using the sorter and adding a scanner onto it, how did that even come into play? Most people who are building these devices are camera based in some sort of ways, right? They're not using an imaging device. What was the thought process behind that? And how did you run into that?
So my thought process and the reason I picked the scanner was why reinvent the wheel when Rico's already done that? Because everything else out there, if it has something in this way, has basically been trying to reinvent the wheel. When a scanner is already what everyone needs, and it's already compact and mass produced, and just buy it and put it on basically, and it makes it a replaceable factor. So I basically everything I've done is in case something goes wrong. If electricity knocks out the scanner, then you can just take the scanner off and put another one
Sure.
on. It's all built with repairability in mind. Say a conveyor goes out, which hoping doesn't ever happen, but I can't say so because it's not been long enough. But so far, with all of our preparations, it shouldn't happen because I've done a lot of refinements to make sure it doesn't happen. But if it does, it's just one module. You take it out and you just replace the whole module.
Yeah.
And it doesn't kill the whole machine either. You can just make it stop at that one and continue to limp by with the first six instead of the last where that one failed. So it still
Yeah.
works. You just have less usability until you replace that.
Yeah, and the product that the SortSwift machine is using, and the Super Sorter, sorry, is using, I get those mixed up all the time, is the FI80 170 made by Ricoh. It's the number one product on the gaming card market. I'm sure for most of you out there that are on this, you've probably seen my face at demos or webinars or something promoting the product. The key features of this scanner is really threefold. It's image quality, paper handling or card handling, and reliability. We have clients from a reliability standpoint using our products for 15, 20 years, and they just don't break. From an image quality standpoint, our camera lenses are top notch. It's perfect for this situation. As you get on and we show demonstration and you see the cards, you're going to see them come out crisp and clear. And regardless if they're in a penny sleeve or a top loader or something that you protected, and it doesn't matter. And what's cool about the device is you'll see this big long tray where you can line up thousands of your cards, thousands. It's insane. And we're really excited to show that demonstration off. So the power of the scanner is one part of the whole equation here. And that's what's nice. It's a solution, right? We from the Ricoh scanner side are providing that scanner to get you the image quality, but the sorting and the sifting device is amazing. One thing, Micah, that I didn't know the definition between sorting and swifting or sifting, right? Like it was news to me. Would you mind taking a minute to go over what the difference is between sorting and swifting and or sifting and all that, what all that means?
So sifting is what a lot of us do to basically get chaff out, cheap cards that you don't have time to mess with right away. You want to get the higher end stuff on your shelves. So we made a sifter, which basically controls the scanner. You're not needing to sort, you're just needing to sift. So you've got, let me actually pop that up. You've got the ability to do different stop functions. So sifting, if you want to sift for value, then you just take a market price greater than $1. And then you can scan cards until you hit $1, and then it'll stop and say, hey, this is a good value card. You can go ahead and pull this one out. This is basically the most entry-level sorter that somebody can have that just sifts. It's a great entry point for anybody that doesn't have the finances for buying a big sorting machine or even one of our smaller models when they get on the market. It's a very good entry point for everyone to use. It even does direct to web. You don't even have to images and then upload them. It just scans and goes straight onto your interface right away.
Yeah, this feature is super unique because most people, when they're buying our products, they're using paper stream capture to capture all the image. I think what's unique about your product is it really doesn't matter what you use. I think you prefer to use what we're seeing on the screen here, which is your software, because it'll have that ability to sort in the Swift where you can't do that in PaperStream. Not only that, PaperStream is not a Mac product either. So if the majority of the user database is running on Mac, you're not going to be able to take advantage of PaperStream. So this software is really key. And it's really unique to the gaming card industry. I don't ever see this in the trading card side, although I think you're building a product eventually for that. But on the gaming card side, it's let me just get the image and dump it onto a selling site and invest in the AI software in the middle to grab that data off the card. Yours does the AI, it does the sorting, it does the swifting. I got to get that out of my mind. It's Taylor Swift or something. Sifting, it does all that in one. And I think that speaks a lot to our partnership. I think I stumbled upon finding you one day because I thought it was cool on YouTube from a customer in Australia. And they connected the dots. And I just think it's pretty cool as to where we're at right now, making sure the integration works, making sure we're now talking to the audience of both sides and trying to evangelize this product. So this is great. So everybody, what you're seeing on the screen, I think we can move into like maybe product demonstrations right now. And we'll split that off into twofold. First, let's take a look at the software, which is on the screen right now. It's unique and proprietary to your brand.
Yep. So we've got SortSwift open on the screen here. So this is our sifter. Let me actually go back. I'm on our staging website here. So this is basically early access to anything extra that we've added that isn't fully tested for public, but where there's been no changes to scanning on this. So we've got live camera, which uses a webcam, put it on a white background using our little application we made, auto crops the image and uploads it. We've got file upload, which uses PaperStream scans, and you just scan it with PaperStream. Upload PaperStream image to file upload, which you can also do, let me open this, with cardbacks. So you turn cardbacks on or off. And if I open up here some scans, let's do some MTG front and back cards. I'll do these 3.
So you can grab the images on the fly during the scan, or you can go already to a set library of images and upload them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if we upload those images here, it'll show us the back of the card, the front of the card, and what our recognition thinks it is. So something cool that we also have is keybinds. So say this card was actually foil. We've got a next printing, which is control. So if I click control on here, it changes this card to a foil, and you can see a little sparkle effect. If it ever identifies a card wrong, you can just do set code card number and then hit replace, and it will replace that card. Same with card names. There's search abilities. Also, if there's ever a card number that's duplicate, it will pop up a screen saying, hey, there's two cards in this set with that same card number. Which one do you want? So that's
one thing that I think that's really important here is the edge and backgrounds that you guys are able to develop. A lot of the gaming cards are generally darker for the most part, and a white background is something that's very unique to the FI8170, the imaging device, and the software behind it. It makes the card pop, for lack of a better word here, which gives you the details of your edges and your borders as well. And quality comes into the play of the card, then you're able to actually see all of the image quality of the card there.
So even with white backgrounds, let me see, white card edges, it's still, this is a digital image. Yeah, these are digital images, but
you can go back and forth between black and white though in terms of a background.
Oh yeah. I will say on our sifter we have to do black background because the program we use doesn't allow us to change the background if we use overscan. On the sifter, so this is our hardware development that works on any operating system. So Mac, Linux, Windows, as long as you can check your certification and authorize it to your webhook on your WebSocket on your window, your browser, then you can connect to the sifter. So I'll connect here. I've got it turned on back behind my screen over there. So I'm now connected to our Pi hardware, which I'll go ahead and turn this camera on.
Does everybody know what Pi is? Because I sure the heck didn't, Micah. You explained it to me really well. It's a mini computer, basically, right?
It's a mini computer. I don't know if you guys can see my other camera over here.
Yeah.
Right now, I just have the Pi connected to this. Are we so zoomed out? All right. So I have the Pi connected to here. And on my screen, I'm going to hit feed till stop. And what it's going to do is going to trigger that to come on and scan cards. And currently, I'm scanning penny sleep cards. So on our screen here, it's going to pull up those penny sleep cards. And you can see the edges are dirty on some of these. So let me go ahead and stop. And that's because these are old cards. So
Okay.
if we come over here, and you can see that we've got whitening on these edges. And if we go look at this one, you can still see the whitening on the screen. So you can condition these cards on your screen without ever having to touch them.
Right.
And it also does the same thing for card backs. So if I turn on card backs and I feed till stop again, I go to the end here. Got some more scanning. I go to the next one. It's also given us the back of the card. So you never have to actually look at the card. You can just say, oh, that's heavy play. But notice here it recognized incorrect. We go, let's see, I think this is anthologies. Yeah. Quick change. It's anthologies. It looks heavy play. I push down twice and I hit enter. It moves to the next card. And we are now scanning, moving along. Let me turn this camera off real quick.
That's perfect. That's really nice. I think you're seeing here the difference between how fast things are able to image and feed into the software and the device. It's lightning quick. One thing to mention before we get into more of the demos is that if you have questions, we have an open question platform on the tool. Go ahead and add your questions to the device. And at the end, we're going to answer any questions that are pending in the tool. Definitely feel free to flood us with whatever you guys like out there. Sorry, Micah, go ahead.
Oh, you're all good. So after you get all your cards scanned, you get a market price, you get a low price. You can trigger what you want to base your statistics on. So a lot of people base their statistics on low. I base mine on market. And you can set your own high value thresholds. So say cards over 10 cents isn't bulk to you, which I'm just scanning cards to scan cards. And that allows you to split your CSVs on exports. So if you have a high value of 10 cents, but in your case could be $1, $5, $20, you can then split those exports, high value in one file, low value in another file, and only upload the high value and know, hey, I don't want to list these other cards, they're bulk. You can just look at this. You can just look at this CSV that you've got right here. And it shows all of the information about these cards. It's even got an image of that card. So say you want to upload this to eBay later on. Whenever we build the systems, this image will just go straight to eBay because it's stored in our server. This also allows you to handle it in our inventory, which I can show later. We have pre-built CSV exports for all the different platforms. And we also have labels that you can print per card if you wanted to. So if I go here and I show off labels and barcodes. So this is the price of the card. This is the card condition, if it's a foil or not, and as well as the set code and card number. Card name, what date this was printed. So that way you know that this price was as of this date. And then we have barcodes, which you can use with our point of sale when we get it released. You just put this sticker on that single card, scan that, and it'll pop up exactly what card you're trying to sell the customer.
Interesting. How many different platforms do you guys push data into? eBay's probably the obvious one, right?
eBay will be coming next because we need to build a CSV export that supports their upload system. Okay. Currently, you're able to export TCG Player, Binder POS, which is a competitor to our system, Mana Pool, Card Trader, Power Tools, you can just do Magic the Gathering, and Crystal Commerce, you can do Magic the Gathering, but their input system is a little different. We've had to build something custom to make that export work natively. A lot of people have problems having to modify their CSVs after making them in a format that's accepted. Our system basically pre-default does that. You may have some weird cases where it doesn't work, but those would be easier to fix than doing your whole thing all
Right.
over again.
So Micah, if somebody wanted to, do you guys offer like private demonstrations of the software, like, or trial periods, or something that if somebody wants to try it out, you get 7 days for free or something like that? I don't know.
Yeah, so you get a 7-day free trial on pretty much anything on our system. But there are cases where if somebody reaches out to me and they've used their 7 days and they didn't actually get to use it, then I have no issue giving them some credit on there where they can just try it out before, because we want them to know if they like it before they give us any money. We're pretty confident that it's well liked. We've been getting a lot of compliments, very fast at bug response. I guess you call it bug response. Any bugs are usually fixed within 24 hours, sometimes within hours. It just depends.
And the software can be found on SortSwift.com.
Yes.
Right?
We've got all kinds of stuff on there. We've got our sorting machines, the drawers I make at MTech, the displays I make at MTech. There's a whole bunch of stuff and info
Right.
that I've built.
Is this a perpetual or a subscription type of platform?
So everything we're doing is subscription based, but we're doing it in a way where it's competitive to all the other competitors out there. Currently, I'd say that we're priced cheaper than most that are out there. But also we don't charge a commission on sales whenever our syncing systems get in place. It may seem like we're a bit more expensive in that regard because we don't have a commission, but if you end up paying a commission, it would end up being cheaper in the long run.
Gotcha. Okay. SortSwift.com, subscription based. There's offerings. Is it based off of the amount of cards you're scanning in, or is there like a one-time flat fee? How does the pricing work out for this?
So currently, we do it based on how many cards you do. So let me go back to this subscription page.
I like the carving pumpkin things. I thought that was kind of cool. Will there be Santa Claus for Christmas?
Probably. So on our pricing, this is very competitively priced on your scans. $100 a month gets you 20,000 scans. $5 gets you 500. And if you could sign up for the 500 a month scan price, and if you go into Sifter and say you use your 500 scans, you can hit this little plus in the top right, and you can just top up more through the middle of the month. It's just $1 more to do it this way. It may be safer for those that are not sure how much they're going to use.
Yeah, let's say somebody buys the, I don't know, the 1999 one, but only scans 1,500 scans. Does that credit roll over to the next month, or is it just reset every month?
It resets every month.
Okay.
My API access that we have isn't a per card access, so if we don't use it, then we still have to pay for it, kind of a thing.
Gotcha. Understand. This software is really cool, but I think it tells part of the story, right? The second part of the story is the beast, the super sorter system, the hardware device in and of itself. When I saw pictures of it, it was like, oh my gosh, my jaw dropped. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Luckily, here on this video, you guys are going to get something better than looking at pictures. You're going to actually see the real device in action in his facilities. It might be a little hard to see because it's small here, but this is the super sorter. There's apparently many variations of it, right?
Yeah. So I have, it's a little messy on my table here, but it's a madhouse making something new. We have, let me open the page. So we have 5 in plans, starting with the simple sorter. It's just going to have 3 bins. One's a discard. It's going to come next year. All of them, other than the super sorter, are coming next year sometime. Super sorter, we just need to get out the units that we've sold before we start expanding into these others. Simple sorter's 3 bins. The simple sorter XL is 9 bins. Super sorter is 29 bins. And then the super sorter XL is 35 bins. And then we have the super sorter XLB, which is built for batches. It's only about 50 cards per bin, but it will have 52 bins.
And a bin holds 140 cards, right?
140 on all the other models except for the XLB, which is 50.
Except for the XL. All right. I think we're all excited here to see this bad boy in action. Are you ready to move over to the device? And
yeah.
All right. So the first part that my mouth dropped on when I saw it is the stacker. If we move from top to bottom, or move in a U-shaped motion. And hopefully you guys are able to see this fairly well on his video that he's going to be sharing here in a second. The stacker of how many cards can fit is thousands. I don't even know what the limit is. It just seems like
it's about
this.
3,000. Let me go all the way over there.
All right. So as he's moving over, it looks like right now the your video's black.
Yeah, you can watch me walk over
because you're walking. Okay, gotcha. The stacker in and of itself is built to drop cards periodically into the scanner feeder. So there's definitely an algorithm, I'm guessing, that has been designed. So you see up on this top portion, it's angled, and it's a roughly 3,000 cards that can go in. The feeder of the scanner itself probably can hold about 25, 30 cards probably at a time.
Usually, yeah, you can probably fit about 25 in there.
And we're talking raw cards
Yes.
that are not protected or anyway. However, you can handle both protected cards as well as raw cards through the device, right?
Yes.
Okay. The next thing you see there is the FI 8170 sitting at an angle, getting ready to ingest the cards and dump those into the sorter. I don't know, Micah, if you want to explain how that all works. And
so what happens is it's all gravity fed. So this channeling is smooth. So it just slides the cards down. Then we've got a little adapter here that kind of keeps the cards pushed forward so it doesn't rest all of this weight on the scan. And then on the back, it pulls the card down, dispenses it here, and it hits this sensor, which tells the system that there's a card here being identified and that it's sitting on the conveyor. It will then move to this sensor and wait until this is empty. But if this is empty, it'll just move it in here and wait until it's recognized. So that gives us about a 3-second buffer here of waiting on a card to be recognized in case servers get slowed down, in case high traffic. It can still get recognized in a timely manner because you're not sitting here waiting. You've got an extra 2 cards in the queue. Then what happens is the card will travel all the way across all of these, which all have sensors to tell the system where the card is in the line. And whenever it reaches its point, the conveyor will stop. It will tilt down to 2 different angles, giving you a top and a bottom bin, so that both angles can feed into either of these per conveyor. And each one has a screen to tell you what that bin is doing. So right now we're just in a ready to sort mode. There's 0 cards in this bin. There's no actual sensor to know how many cards are in there. This is software. So once it dispenses, you've got to clear it out before you start a new one. And so but that's the case for most sorters. But whenever you're sorting like an A, this ready to sort will say A. Or I guess all the way down here, it'd be like X or something. But we also have the ability to do price. There will be a GUI here, which basically lets you pick what sort you want to do. This is a new addition, this screen. Originally, it was just going to be some buttons. So
yeah,
we've upgraded to a screen here. And we've got it set up. Oh, the touch is messed up again. If I click here, it will scan a card, dispense it out, sit it above the sensor, and then it's running, but he's still actively trying to make this faster. But what it does is eventually it would dispense into a bin. For now, it's just going out the end here.
What are the different categories that it can sort into? It's price, name of the card.
You could do price, you could do A to Z, you could do card color, CMC, you could do if it's on the reserve list, if it's legal in Commander, and for Pokemon, it could be like card type, it could be so much. I can't go on with how much there is.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a lot of different options. Okay. And that's all software driven. That's all in this software you pre-program essentially.
Basically, you tell it, hey, I want to sort A to Z this go, or hey, I want to sort by price this go. But eventually we're going to have it where you can set up custom sorts per bin. So you could have high value in one, rare in one, mythic in one. You could have blue cards go to another one. You could have $5 ones go in another one. And we're going to make a community base of sorts where people can upvote them and then just use other people's sorts that they've created.
So the why behind the sorter is that it helps sellers organize their cards from popular to unpopular in terms of selling much faster. Other than if you don't have a sorter, you're seriously like just doing it by hand.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
to give an idea, all of those boxes over there, there's probably about 500,000 cards that all need to be ran through my machine to check value, get rid of the stuff that's cheap, or make lots of the stuff that is cheap to basically sell it as bulk, but also sell it as repacks or no duplicate packs. A lot of people sell 1,000 card bundles that have no duplicate. So that's one reason some people may want to make lots like
Yeah.
that. Or
What would be the target audience that
um,
you're looking at? It's a smaller version, right?
yeah, so the
Yeah.
super sorter I'd probably say is targeted more at stores or better, some warehouses maybe. But we've also got a smaller model that I was giving a little sneak peek at. It's only got
Mhm.
4 little conveyors. It'll have not. This is our super sorter XL in progress. We did this for a little bit when we were missing some parts to make the super sorter, so we wanted to stay busy. So it's going to have the Rico scanner here and a little hopper up top as well. But this is targeted more for hobbyists or household consumers. And then kind of building our first model here, it's got wire channels and places to mount all of the computing components and stuff back here where it's a lot more organized. We have a fuse box that controls everything, and then a USB hub for expansion later on in case we want to add like a foil detection module right above the first buffer container. So every servo has a fan. It's all been pretty well thought out in my thoughts.
Yeah. It seems like you have to have a passion to do this, right? Like you have to love the hobby. You got to love the technology, right? It looks like you and your dad are partners
Yeah,
in arms
grandpa's
here. So that's
this
pretty
is
awesome. It's father and son.
this is grandpa.
Oh, grandpa. Okay.
Yep. Over here
Yeah.
building
Made
on
in the
this one.
USA type of thing, right? This is
Oh
something
yeah.
that's totally here.
Every
So,
every bit of this is built here. I may buy it on Amazon or something.
sure.
It's mostly off the shelf stuff, except for like our hardware. These are gotten from a company called Go Builda, and they're great to work with. They really strive to make good electronics.
So if somebody wants to buy one today, I'm sure it's probably build to order type of thing, right?
Oh yeah.
How long does it take if somebody was to want one ASAP? Are you talking about a couple weeks, a couple days?
We're a couple of months out right now. We have 16 of these to build and get out, and that's the status of the first one I just showed you. It's really close, but it only goes a couple of hours away. So as soon as we get it finished and delivered to him, I think all of our hurdles of starting up a manufacturing company will be gone. So we've been running into things like missing little servos or missing wires or just little bitty things here and there, needing some more screws and having to wait on those to come in. Like
Right.
this took me like 3 weeks to get this part. So
Yeah. Is maybe a great first step for customers who are looking into this to at least go the software route first, because
definitely, yeah.
if you can get familiar with the software, you get familiar with it, you like it, you build the AI recognition so it keeps learning more. And then you get to a point where, okay, this is going to be a business for me. You now have the software down where you got to place your order, at least for the hardware, and figure out which version do you want, the mini guy or the big guy or a middle guy in between. Okay. Okay. And is the device, so the device is something that you buy and it ships complete? You have to do any installation when you get it? Because how is this going to be delivered, like on big some diesel truck in a box when they buy it?
So what we've done is we've basically charged 50 cents a mile one way to deliver. Can't see my screen. Oh,
and you're based, where are you based at?
I'm based in Oklahoma, so right in the middle of
Right in the middle of the world.
right in the middle. So we can go any direction, and I think all the way to Washington is $1,100 in shipping for us to deliver it, set it up, and make sure it's working before we leave.
Are you entertaining orders from anywhere outside of North and South America? If Europe is interested, or Asia, Japan, is this something that is plausible right now, or
Not yet.
talk to you and get in the line and we'll figure it out type of thing, right?
Yeah, we can figure it out in the future. Right now, it's really hard to palletize it because it's huge. It doesn't
Yeah.
really fit on a pallet because of how long it is. But if we get to that point, I'd say it'd be possible. We have, of course, our developer is in the UK, so we may end up being able to share some files and have them produce them in the UK and then go out and deliver them over there.
Okay.
Saves the whole pond process.
Is your soft right now able to recognize? I believe some of these gaming cards are not just in English. There are some non-English version of the cards that are out there, right? I know Pokemon, for example, I think has a
Okay.
Japanese version of it. That's where my mind's going.
So we do have alternative recognition, which it costs us double. So we have to charge extra usage for using it. But it does have extra games that you can do. So
Gotcha.
you can do Pokemon Japan, which is Japanese Pokemon here in this case.
Sure.
So I do have some scans where I can show that off. Pokemon Japanese.
Yeah, that's interesting. I asked before we got on this call, is like how many, I know the big four, right? Like how many different versions of gaming cards are there that you can recognize? And that list was pretty darn long. Once you scan it through, I think it might be good to go back and list out all of the different platforms you guys are able to recognize and scan through.
It's always growing, and I just got some beta access today actually for baseball cards with our normal recognition.
Okay, great.
So it's in progress.
And you've mentioned to me off screen that there's patents pending for all of this stuff. You guys are going to be the proprietary owner of all of it all.
Oh yes. So we've already got patent pending on all 5 of these models. They're all covered under the same patent because they're all the same process and same utility. So they're definitely covered on our end. So we've invested a lot in making sure that we can secure our artwork.
For sure, for sure. I thought the demonstrations were awesome. I never thought there would be a day in my life where I'd see our scanner on on something like that that's actually giving a lot of value and purpose to the world. So that's really cool. And I thought they were 2 great demonstrations. You could use the software separately, I guess, if you don't need the sorter, but the sorter is definitely something that is an eye catcher for sure. And I think there's a lot of stores and clients. I talk to people all the time with millions of cards that they have, and they just don't know what to do with them. And this is a good solution.
To add to the super sorter benefit, it is the only way to get an unlimited scanning plan with our systems. So there's no limit if you have a super sorter or one of our other simple sorters. It's a higher cost per month, but currently, if the super sorter is paid for by the end of the year, you get grandfathered in at $99 a month for unlimited scanning.
Who can beat that?
There's the competition. The next closest competition, I think, is at $250 a month. So if it's paid for by the end of the year, but otherwise next year it goes up to $199 a month.
We do have looking at the questions, the Q&A, there's a number of questions that have come in, and I think you've covered basically everything. I think we're good to move on to the Q&A part. So one of the questions that came in is more of a technical thing. It looks like somebody was having some difficulty seeing the screen. It is a little small, but I think once we get the video posted, by the way, this video is going to be posted on our website. Mike is going to share it on his. Hopefully you're able to zoom in a little bit more. We have some limited capacity with the software we use to do the
I am doing an ultra wide too, so that's probably not helpful.
It's probably it. But again, I go back to Micah does live demonstrations for people. So you can reach out to him. At the end, we'll provide all of his information and you can reach out to him. He'll do a private demo on the software if you need to. And there's a lot of information on the SortSwift.com website that pretty much goes over a lot of what he has went over here. Another question, does the program ID the cards as they go in and sort them by using a database of all trading cards, i.e., if I put a stack of cards, various cards, and some from our, let's say, 1986 Fleer, and others are from 1998 Tops, will it know it and sort them out? I think he's...
So if we integrate with our alternative, if we basically turn on alternative scanning, it does have sports card recognition. So we could sort with our sorting machine sports cards in that way. So we could sort by year, we could sort by tops, we could sort by player name, team name, but that wouldn't be able to be unlimited because we have to pay per card on that one with that recognition. But that is possible to do if we just basically flip a switch on the recognition system for the sorters.
It sounds like preparation is really important. obviously, not only from preparing the cards that you're going to scan into the software, but also into the sorter as well, right? Like you can't have baseball cards in the middle of packs with Pokemon cards, for example,
That's
right?
right. Yeah.
You got to make sure it's well thought out.
The only thing maybe is sort it by game. I believe that alternative scanning can also sort by mixed games. So we could probably sort games out into piles, but then again, we've got a cost per card using that alternative.
Sure, that makes sense. Another question that's here is pricing. Maybe if you can, I think you might have went into software a little bit, but if you want to go back and go over pricing for both the software and the hardware and the combination, might
Well,
be a good
I
time.
could I could show off the inventory a little bit as well.
That would work. Yeah.
So something else we're working on is the ability to add cards to your inventory and then sync those to other platforms like Shopify and be able to auto price them and sell them, because currently there's no way of just scanning cards and listing them that I'm aware of that you can verify. So if we show off this system here, we've got the ability to view inventory. You can add inventory. So say we want to add a near mint of this card. Let's see. I'll add two. I'll add some remarks and a comment, and we'll say this is in bin one. I'll add another one, and this is in bin four. We'll add another one. You can also do a cost per card. So say you paid $5 for this card, which is highly unlikely. You can add that. But say another day you paid $7 for that card. You can add that there. If we go back and we view that stock of that card, it shows every different SKU. Say this one's stored in bin one, bin four. We've also got 1, 2, 3, which is the one I put on there. And then the two near mints. And then also the ones that have different costs are separate as well. But we also have a location mode, which combines all of your locations and remarks into one spot. So then you can just see where all of those cards are. But since this one has a comment, basically this could say this card is creased, or this card is bent, or it has scuffing on the front.
Sure.
That one is separate. You could also name it, this card is signed, or this is a PSA 9. And it allows you to make a custom price for that item because it has its own comment instead of using the same price as everything else.
Interesting. That's cool. So this management software system is really important. Do people, I guess they're going to leave the cards in the bins until the bins fill up and then transfer that bin to a cardboard type of bin like you showed on the wall? Is that kind of the procedure of how things work?
So in a sense, this system allows you to just scan cards and throw them in your inventory, not ever have to sort them again. You don't ever have to alphabetize them. You don't have to sort them by set. You can just scan them, upload them to inventory with remarks, which actually I'll do so with one of my prep scans that I'm prepping for redoing. I'm going to redo my inventory this way. So I have all of these cards scanned in preparations for that. So let's do this one. This is in one of my little bins over there. It's 100 cards. There's 100 rows, 100 cards, and they were worth $86 that I just added to inventory.
Mm-hmm.
So if we go back over here and I view my inventory, I refresh to update we've got 91 unique cards, 438 in value because of the crazy card that I added earlier being worth $40 a piece. But these are now those items, and it actually has a physical scan of that item that I scanned. So that is that card in our system. And if this was to have card backs enabled on here, you could click it and see the back of the card as well. And it also shows me where it is.
Are you able to enable card back after the image is already done, or it has to be done during the scan?
It has to be done during the scan.
Has to be done scan. Okay. That's pretty cool.
And all kinds of filters. You can filter it by set. You can filter it by name, how many you have in stock, the price. You can even do the IDs, subtypes. So we've modified our inventory a bit to show all the types of cards. So like elemental, I doubt I have any, just elemental. I don't think anything will show, but okay. So I do have an elemental in stock.
Okay.
A lot of companies don't break their database up this way. We do, because the card itself is actually a Phyrexian elemental. If you were to sort this on another platform, you would have to search Phyrexian elemental. But in our case, it checks every single word by itself. So this card is legendary. It's also a creature. It's also a Phyrexian, and it's also an elemental. So doing it this way makes it where you can actually advanced search a lot better instead of having to search legendary creature or Phyrexian elemental. So now you have 4 types instead of 2, which the card is 4 types.
So it's pretty crazy. So the solution is a hardware software that is AI recognition, card management. Within the card management, you're able to drill down into a number of different levels to find the card. Soon to be a selling platform or connecting to selling platforms.
So eventually we'll have syncing to Shopify, syncing to Maniple, syncing to Card Trader, TCG Player. TCG Player, we're going to have to build a little web extension because they don't allow API access, but we found a way around that still doesn't violate terms of service on their system. So if we do that, then we'll be golden. We'll charge per sync because we don't charge commission. Otherwise, if we charge the commission, there wouldn't be that extra charge.
Sure. One of the other questions that we're getting is, how do I purchase this? So how do you purchase this? Is it SortSwift or MK? Is it both? Is it selling it?
For the sorter or the software?
It just says, how do I purchase? I'm guessing both.
So you can go to sortswift.com to get software. Basically just log in. Yeah. And once you're logged in, I log in here. You can go over here to the left side and hit subscribe now, and it will show you all of our currently available plans. We also have a CSV suite, which it's a lot to talk about, so I'll leave that one, but it basically allows you to do anything that you would do as a store with an external CSV. So say you exported your inventory from TCG Player app, you could edit it in that app, you could reprice it, you could make it a buy list, or you can take, this one is a big one.
So that's for somebody who might have invested in something else, has a big, long CSV file. You have the ability to dump it into your world, basically.
Yes. So we also have, this is part of the CSV suite. So somebody can export an entire list of a commander deck. So these are always the same cards. They'll always be these same cards. If you buy this from a wholesaler and you just break it apart and sell the singles out of it, doing so this way, you can just say, hey, I bought 5 of these decks. I now want it in the SortSwift template and I want that CSV. So now you can straight up take that CSV. And if I go to my inventory and I import that CSV, my downloads, this one here, I straight up just import this CSV. I just listed all 500 of those cards from those decks. There's 73 unique cards, 500 in total. And if I go into inventory, refresh, I now have 608 cards.
Wow,
I can actually
that's pretty cool.
The call card, and it'll show me all of the cards I just listed.
How does your software deal with graded cards, PSA Beckett type
of
stuff?
In theory, all you'd have to do, if you have a PSA, I don't know, let's go this Mabel hair here, the same one I've been playing with, and say it's a foil, but it's also a PSA 9. All you have to do is type PSA 9. And that will make a unique item for that. And then you can give it a custom price. So if I turn auto pricing off here, I can price that card at $99 if I wanted to, and add that one to inventory.
Oh, that's pretty cool too. Wow. There's a lot of stuff you can do. I think hopefully this webinar helps get the word out and start spreading and evangelizing this, because I don't know very many things that are even close on the market right now. And we're just very thankful that you're using our scanner for part of your solution. I think so when someone buys the super sorter, it comes with a scanner, or do you got to buy the scanner separately?
So right now it's coming with it. We may give a discount if they already have one that they can just throw on it. That way that they're already comfortable with that 8170, but it has to be an 8170.
Gotcha. That was where I was going with that. So you answered all that question. Great. So the only last question is, how do we contact? And I think through the website is that the best way to do it? Or do you want to give out your email or your phone number or anything?
So our website has our support email. You can also join our Discord on the top right here.
Yep.
And we also have a chat that goes straight to me in this bottom right here as well.
Perfect.
You can email me. You could text MTech. I have my MTech phone number on there. You can call me. Dad's arm is just floating in the background there.
Okay. I was wondering if you're about to get slapped or something. Did you say something wrong? It's usually me on my end. But no, it's all good. So yeah, everybody, if you want to get a hold of him, the best way is sortswift.com. I'll tell you, he's very responsive. I don't know how he sleeps, to be quite honest with you, but I really think that this is a really awesome solution, and there's a lot of customers out there that have been using our products that want to take it to that next level. This is that next level. If you're in the gaming card community and you want to take your selling to a full-time job, or there's a lot of people out there who I know have turned this business selling cards into full-time. I wish I could do it, but
It's a lot, definitely.
it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and hopefully this was pretty educational. Now, before we wrap up, because we're getting close to the top of the hour here, a couple things. There is a survey that will come out that will ask you to rate the content, rate the webinar. Was it useful to you? So on and so forth. Please take some time to do that. Secondly, if you missed this, it's okay. We're going to have a version of this listed probably within the next week or so on pfu-us.rico.com under the trading cards vertical. Michael will have it as well once we get the video. We're probably looking at about a week before it posts. It'll be there forever. You can go there and download it. But we do have some exciting things to say before we wrap up and leave. And that is, we're both offering a giveaway. Micah, if you want to go ahead and put your offer out there, and I think you're on mute right now.
No, I'm still.
Okay, you're there. Okay.
So we're going to offer a free 6 months to our 20,000 cards a month, $99 a month for 6 months for free for this giveaway.
And that's going to be one lucky winner. So one lucky winner is going to win that offering of the software package and a free FI 8170 scanner. And what we're going to do is we're going to allow 3 months of viewership. So those of you who are on this webinar right now, don't worry about it. You're already in the queue. Everybody else, you've got 3 months. So we're in the beginning of November, December, January. Sometime around February, we're going to take all the names, put it in a wheel, one of those electronic wheel things, choose a winner, and we'll reach out to you, and you're going to get a free scanner as well as the free software package that Micah was so kind to offer to us. So guys, that was a lot in 1 hour. I really appreciate Micah. I see him as a name that's going to become pretty standardized here in the hobby here in the next year or two.
Well, yeah, our developer definitely wanted me to mention that I sleep more than he does.
You sleep more than he does. All right. That's good. And that's a great thing. The devotion to constantly making the products better is definitely an important thing, right? Nothing's going to be perfect out of the box. There's a lot of moving parts here, guys. If you haven't figured it out, something might come up. But at the end of the day, there's 2 people who are pretty responsive on this webinar that'll be happy to help you in any sort of way. But Micah, again, thank you very much for spending the time and going through a demo and for your gracious offer. We really appreciate that. For everybody out there, thank you for attending. Please make sure you fill out the webinar survey and look forward to future episodes. This is number 6. We're never going to give up here. We're going to have more coming. There's another one coming next month. So please make sure you sign up for that. So again, my name is Don Caruso. I think we're going to sign off here, and thank you all for your attendance. Appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody, for coming.